welcome to the show where you get to ask the questions. So we're so happy that you're joining us today. And we have so many guests with us today. We have the Empress with us today. We have Coach Ivolette with us today. She hasn't been with us for a while. She's our financial expert. And we'll have several other guests coming on as well. So first of all, my name is Arlene. This is the Ask Arlene Show. We air every Thursday at 6:30 p.m. And I am a life coach and a business consultant specializing in the area of momentum and also peak performance. So how does that help you? Have you ever wanted to start a business, but you just haven't seemed to get started? Or you have a business already and you want to 10x that business, but you just haven't seemed to get started on that either. You know exactly what you need to do to put the pieces of the puzzle together, but you just haven't seemed to do it. Or perhaps business is not your thing. You want to write a book and you know exactly what type of book you want to write, but you just haven't seemed to get started. Or many of us, it's that extra 10 pounds that we want to lose. We know exactly what we need to do. Take a walk around the block, eat less, exercise, put those vegetables on the plate instead of the bad things. But we just don't seem to be able to do it. Well, that's where a peak performance coach and momentum coach comes in handy. This is the person that comes alongside you and helps you to be motivated, to get that ability moving, that muscle that needs to be worked, to get it moving. So today we're going to be talking again about this book. It's called The 10 Secrets to Overcoming Fear and Getting Unstuck. But we're also going to come from a different angle today. So we've talked a lot about the being clear and clarity. We've talked about how we need to be clear about exactly what we want to do and the steps in order to gain that clarity. And then we also talked about the why. We said that in order for you to achieve this particular goal, you need to have a definitive why, a compelling why, something that makes you keep going even when the road gets rough, even when the challenges come along, you still keep moving forward because of that compelling why. And we said for some people, it's their children and leaving a legacy. For other people, that why is that they have something to prove to their family because they didn't think they could do it. For other people, it's a religious reason that propels them and pushes them forward. So we've talked about the why and we've talked about the what, but today we're going to talk about the how. Okay, so many of the calls that we've gotten or the texts that we've gotten or the questions that we've gotten asked, they are about the how. So many people in the past have been on the show and they've talked about how clarity is an inside game. It's something that you have always thought of. It's something you always wanted to do. This is not your first rodeo as far as this particular compelling concept, okay? And we said that this inside game is something that perhaps started when you were in high school or it started when you were in elementary school, this thought of this thing that you really wanted to do, but for whatever reason, perhaps you didn't think you were going to be good at it, or you thought it was going to be too hard, or you didn't have the family support in that particular area. For whatever reason, you didn't do it. I know a young lady who's on the call right now. She's watching the show, and her thing was she always wanted to be a lawyer, and she never did it. She started out in that journey, but then she got sidetracked. She felt that it was too hard for her. She wasn't smart enough, and pretty much she gave up. And we don't want that. That's why we're doing the show, guys. We want you to move forward in that business, in that project, in that compelling endeavor that you want to accomplish. So that's why we're here today. And I also want to let you know about our Mastermind networking group. So in addition to having a one-on-one coach, which many of you may be familiar with, there's this concept of a mastermind group. So this group that we've set up can easily be reached. It's online. And all you have to do is type in these letters, bit.ly, bit.ly/, capital A for Ask and capital A for Arlene, Arlene. So again, how do you get to join our mastermind group, our mastermind networking group, and get lots of information, watch all of our videos, ask questions, work with other people who are going through the same journey that you're going through? Well, it's bit.ly/Ask Arlene, capital A for Ask and capital A for Arlene. So when we started a couple of weeks ago, we only had, as a matter of fact, we started with 2 coaches, myself and Coach Tiffany, who you've seen on the show several times. But then we expanded and we had 7 people that were part of our mastermind group. Guys, now we have over 70 people that are part of our mastermind group, and we're all pulling for you and pushing for you to win in that business, endeavor, or that project. So today, what are we talking about? We said, these are the 10 secrets in this book, 10 secrets to overcoming fear and getting unstuck. But the question really now today is, how? How do I get that project off the ground? So many of the people that are a part of our group are actually business owners. And they have been reading the book, The 10 Secrets to Overcoming Fear and Getting Unstuck, and they've been following the show. But it's important for us to realize that many of us have never done social media networking. But because of the pandemic now, many of us have to market our businesses through the internet, through social media networking. But what we want you to realize is that social media networking is still networking, which means that we have to build relationships. We have to build relationships with other people. So some coaches will tell you, you need 1 million people in order to grow your business, in order to grow your social media business. You've got to have tons of people here and there on Instagram and on Facebook and on YouTube. But I'm here to tell you a secret today, guys. We're going to talk about the how. You don't need 1 million people to move forward and be successful in your business. What you need is to be strategic, okay? And build a following, build a group. So everyone that has been successful in the past has done so by building raving, excited people who support their project, business, or goal, okay? So if it's Apple now has millions and millions of followers, but when they started out just selling their brand. They started out getting people to fall in love with them. So much so that now those same people who started out buying their products are still buying their products years and years and years later, even though they're coming out with products every few years and they don't even necessarily need the new products, but they're just raving fans of this particular product called Apple. So today we're talking about social media networking. And I'm going to teach you a couple of the secrets. So to networking, and this is the second book. The book that I've written is called The 10 Secrets to Networking. So guys, we've given you all of the tools, techniques, and tips. All you've got to do is reach out and access it. One of the key secrets to networking is this concept, and I'm going to give you the quote. The quote is, not just seek and ye will find, knock and the door will be open unto you. But it's a very simple concept. It's called, it's more blessed to give than to receive. What, Arlene? That's a simple concept. That's something we learned when we were 5 and 6 years old and we were just kids. Well, this social media networking requires you to give in order to receive. So what am I saying? One of the key tools and techniques that you can use on social media is that you actually reach out to other people. You actually find out what their project is, what they're selling, what they're looking to expand in. And they'll be more than happy to talk with you because you're talking with them about their project. You're talking with them about their endeavor or whatever it is that they're selling. So what many of us have been doing, why some of us have been challenged, is we're just going online and we're trying to sell our product. Sell, sell, sell. Well, yes, sometimes that works. But if you found that you haven't expanded as quickly as you would like, this is an alternate secret that I'm sharing with you today. Give before you receive. If you can join an alternate group and begin to feed into that group, begin to share in that group, begin to help the people in that group to expand their knowledge and to build their group, then they'll be more likely to hear what you have to say about your group and much more likely to support your project or endeavor. So I'll give you an example. There is a group that a lovely lady was a part of. And this group goes to an international platform. So there are people all over the world that are a part of this particular group. And their motto is that you should give before you receive. And so I met a young lady who was a part of this group. And she was just phenomenal. She just kept giving and talking and sharing, so much so that eventually I said, wait. What are you selling? I need to know what you're selling, because I feel like you've given me so much support and so much information and you've done so much sharing that I want to give back to you. So tell me what you're selling so I can buy it. And eventually she said she was taken aback. Later on, when I joined the group, I found out this is the technique. This is the strategy that successful people are using. So my recommendation today is that regardless of what your project is, you stop selling, turn around, find somebody else who perhaps is selling something that's of interest to you, that has the same group of people in their group, in their platform, that's of interest to your market, and begin working in that group. Make a name for yourself in that group. And eventually people will see you as a valuable person, as the go-to person. And then it will be easier to give them your project or give them whatever it is that you're selling. And they'll be open to hearing, but also, guys, they'll be more open to buying, as opposed to what may be happening now, which is that you're just in sell mode. And people are kind of like, well, nobody wants to be sold, but everybody wants to buy. Because in buying, there's fun. In buying, there's joy. But nobody wants to be sold. So this is a key secret. A second secret, and let me see how many minutes we have before we go to our break. A second secret that I'm going to talk to you about is this concept, in addition to giving before you receive, is this concept of being open, being open to share with every single person that you meet. So the key secret in this book, The 10 Secrets to Networking, is a secret called the 3-foot rule. You say, Arlene, we're going through a pandemic. What do you mean the 3-foot rule? What is that? Well, guys, even though we're going through a pandemic, we're still going to the grocery stores. We're still going to the bank. We're still going to our schools, some of us. We're still interacting with friends and family. We're going to the track. And now the gyms are open. We're going to the gyms or going to the restaurants. So one secret that I want you to practice is this 3-foot rule. And that means that you're going to talk to everybody within 3 feet of you about your business, project, or endeavor. So the young lady says, well, I sell lashes. I'm a lash technician. I can't go to the bank and talk to people about lashes. Why not? Turn around and say, hey, I really like that shirt you're wearing. Wow, thank you. You like my shirt? Yes. You would be surprised the number of sales that I have made just accidentally, just happenstance, talking with people around me within 3 feet of me about my project, business, or endeavor casually. And last time I shared with you how I was able to go to the mall and talk with a gentleman about his project. He was selling at the mall. He was trying to get people enrolled in school, in college. I wasn't interested in enrolling in college, but he started talking with me, and I struck up a conversation with him about what he wanted to talk about. And when he was finished, then he said, well, who are you? What are you doing? Why are you here since you're not interested in going to this college? And I was able to share with him, well, actually, I'm new to the city and I'm looking for a position. And he was able to make a connection with me to the person who was the president of the college, which then enabled me to get a position working with the college. So guys, you got to talk to the people that are around you. Utilize your resources. This stuff is easy. It's called social media networking for a reason, because we need to be social. Okay, guys, so we've got 2 minutes now that we're going to take a little break. and we are going to listen to our lovely, amazing Empress, the Empress. She's singing live in the studio, and the name of the song is I'm Good. Because guys, despite this pandemic, despite what's going on, we're good.
Ooh. Name some things I'll be without you, good. Stop the growth, I bet you think you could. Said you gon' leave me, man, I wish you would. Yeah, I'm different, so I'm misunderstood. So I'ma always be good. Said I'ma always be good. What would you say if I told you the people you missing won't call you again? What would you say if I told you the people around you don't stick to the end? Newer vibes and different faces. Life is all in different phases. How can you fly away if the people around you still got you in cages? You need empire, get the empress, yeah, yeah. Cop your kingdom, lead the fences, yeah, yeah. Keep the facts, I hate pretenders, yeah. No days off, I got perfect attendance. No vacation trips, I don't pray for this. So it's only right I stay with this. Man, y'all can hate on this. Past 180, that's my kin. Sticking with them to the end. And I love them like my bands. Keep them detailed, take a spin, yeah. Name some things I'll be without you, good. Stop the growth, I bet you think you could. Said you gon' leave me, man, I wish you would. Yeah, I'm different, so I'm misunderstood. So I'ma always be good. Said I'ma always be good.
Thank you. And welcome back to the Ask Arlene Show, the show where you get to ask the questions and we answer them on the television show. We also, guys, are going to be answering questions at the close of the show at 7:30. We're going to go live and be able to answer additional questions live. And the place that I want you to go and join our mastermind group and join our team is at bit.ly/Ask Arlene, capital A for ask and capital A for Arlene. So guys, we want you to join us. We want to work with you and help you to win. And that leads me to what we're talking about today. We're talking about the how. How do we move forward in that business project or our endeavor? So one of the key secrets is this concept, and it's a proverb, and it says, no man is an island, no man stands alone. So with social media networking, which is what we're talking about now, this concept is that we all need each other. We need people in order to be successful. So this whole concept lends to coaching. I'm a life coach and a business consultant. And the idea is that I come alongside you and help you to win in whatever endeavor it is that you're trying to accomplish. So all of the successful people, guys, have coaches. And the coach is the one that helps you when you think you can't do those extra 10 crunches. The coach comes alongside you and says, yeah, push, you can do it. And then guess what? You do it. You accomplish that stuff that you didn't know that you could accomplish. So let's say you're making 10 calls. Now you have a coach. You're going to make 10 calls plus the additional 5. You're going to make additional contacts. You're going to make additional connections, guys. And that's why you need to work with other people. So what's this mastermind group that I keep talking about? So the mastermind group not only encompasses me, I'm a coach, but we have a plethora of other coaches in the group. So when you join, your interest may be to write a book. It might not be business. And so you'll have somebody in there that's doing the same project as you. And the two of you can connect and get on that journey and accomplish that much faster. And I was telling you guys last week the story of me I run 3 miles, no big problem, no big deal. But I was telling you the story of how I was running in Prospect Park, which I hadn't been familiar with. And I hadn't done the 3 miles yet, guys, but I was running with another gentleman. And I stopped because I was just exhausted. And the gentleman said, "Hey, you haven't done the 3 miles yet. You finished the 3 miles just on the other side of this mountain." So guys, I kept going, got the extra steam, and I was able to accomplish it and go the extra mile, go the extra over the mountain and accomplish the 3 miles. So I want to tell you 2 stories, 2 quick stories. We're talking about the 3-foot rule. And I know that some of you during this COVID-19 have actually lost positions. You've lost jobs and you're looking to find something else to do. And we don't want to ignore that. We're talking about growing your businesses and we want you to move forward in that passion. But some of us need jobs in the meantime. So that 3-foot rule is still applicable to you. So I want to tell you a brief story. I had a job and I was working as a social worker. And I had to go into people's homes and I didn't want to go into their homes. I was doing truancy prevention and I had to check in their pantries and ask them very invasive questions. So I wanted to move forward from that job, but I had a coach, somebody who was very knowledgeable, and she also believed in the law of attraction and these tools and techniques that I'm telling you about and teaching you about that are in this book, The 10 Secrets to Overcoming Fear and Getting Unstuck, and also in the Secrets to Networking. And she said to me, "Don't look for a job." I was like, "What? Don't look for a job." So many of you are filling out applications and filling out forms, but the people who are very successful, guys, I'm sharing this with you. It's a secret, but I'm sharing it with you on live today. They're not filling out applications. And they are not running people down in terms of the paperwork and the widgets. What they're doing is actually networking. They're talking to people. So if you follow this 3-foot rule, you can accomplish whatever it is. So I didn't do the application route and I didn't do the newspaper route. I cleaned up my act as far as the work that I was doing. I stopped complaining about my job and I just looked for and became open to opportunities. Ironically, I had seen a gentleman who worked at the nursing home where my grandmother was. And I asked him, somebody had mentioned to me that the nursing home, which was in my neighborhood, was looking for a social worker. I don't know how this happened, but guys, this is how things happen when you begin to read these concepts and practice these concepts. The man was walking by one day when I was getting my tire fixed. It wasn't an application process. It wasn't an interview stage per se. I was just getting my tire fixed. And he happened to be walking by. Guys, I said, "Hey, how's my grandmother?" And just smiled with him. And so he took a double take. And he didn't know who I was, but he smiled and he said, "Yeah, she's fine." I said, "You don't know who my grandmother is, do you?" He said, "I have lots of grandmothers in the nursing home." I said, "Well, actually," I introduced myself. I told him what I was looking for. I said, "I heard that you're looking for a social worker." "I'm a social worker." And I began to run down all of the qualifications that I had as a social worker. He said, "Well, ironically, I'm not really looking for a social worker." And I was like, "You're not? I heard you were looking for a social worker." He said, "No, actually, I'm looking for a director." I said, "Well, actually, that's really more of what I'm interested in. And I've been a director in the past. I was just saying social worker because I thought that's what you were looking for." Right there, guys, at the tire shop, I began to share with him my background and why I was suitable for that particular position as a director, all the positions that I had held that were relevant. He interviewed me on the spot at the tire place. So by the time I went in, because we did do a formal interview, but by the time we did that, guys, I had already acquired the position. He had already made up in his mind that I was a good fit and had told the owner that he was going to interview this person who was already a good fit. So this 3-foot rule, guys, is important. This 3-foot rule is important. We have just 1 minute left to share stories before we wrap up. And I want to tell you another quick story. So before doing this show, I've also done shows on radio. 1190 WVOX, not 1190. It's WVOX. And I needed to gain sponsorship in order to keep my business going. So in that particular capacity, I was selling sponsorship. So I needed these companies to come in and give me funding. I'll tell you another secret, guys, just in line with what we're talking about. I was knocking on as the lady at the bank had told me that this particular person would be an ideal sponsor for my show. I called this man every day. I knocked on his door. I went to his place of business. He owned a car dealership. I went to the car dealership like a mad person regularly and kept harassing and shaking the trees, as they say. I got no response from this guy. I gave up and followed the principles of just doing my part, doing the best that I could, and cleaning up my act, cleaning up my room, cleaning up my space, doing the best job that I could as far as my show. And one day, I was just doing a fast, and I walked into the cell phone store just to do what I needed to take care of. And I saw this man, this CEO of this $1 million car dealership, sitting in the chair right in front of me. I said, no, that can't be him. That can't be the same guy that I've been trying to reach all this time. So I went over to him and I said, sir, are you such and such? And he said, yes. And I said, well, I'm so-and-so and I've been trying to reach you. And he said, okay. So I went ahead and proceeded to tell him what it was that I wanted. I did the show and I was looking for him to be a sponsor. And what I did, guys, which is a secret, and I didn't even realize this before I started talking about it, what I did was I offered him a spot on the show and I interviewed him. So I gave him an opportunity to air his business and advertise his business. And who doesn't want to get free advertising for their business? And it's after that, after I gave to him, we went out to dinner. We had an opportunity to talk. I asked him to sponsor the show. And of course he loved it because now he's been a part. He's been able to win as a result. So guys, we're closing up, we're wrapping up today, but hopefully you've gained some really good key secrets that you're going to utilize in your business, in your project, or in your endeavor. So as we're closing out, I want to remind you that you can call us and ask any questions that you need to. Our number is 413-400-0762. Once again, that's 413-400-0762. You can reach us again, as I mentioned, at our site, which is askarleneshow.com, or join our mastermind group, guys, at bit.ly/askarlene. And I want to invite you to type us a line and ask us any questions that you may have. But also, after this show, we're going to be on live on Facebook for a little while. And we're going to invite you to come on live and ask questions and talk with us because we want to see you win. Thank you for spending the time with us today, guys. We really enjoyed being with you. Hopefully we'll see you soon. Bye-bye.
Misunderstood, so I'ma always be good. Said I'ma always be good. What would you say if I told you the people you missing won't call you again? What would you say if I told you the people around you don't stick to the end? Newer vibes and different faces. Life is all in different phases. How can you fly away if the people around you still got you in cages?